Ali, 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 yeah. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7. I praise Allah for these lessons. I'm striving to be the message, and I thank Allah for his blessings. Ali was the circle 7.
Islam, Islam, Islam. Moorish America want to rise upon the 7 within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God, whom we call Allah, our Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Al-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything, and I do mean everything, that our Holy Prophet brought to make us a nation. I want to welcome you to another late night library session. You know, we got a powerful measure to bring on the manifest. You know, and I was thinking earlier, you know, I said that we must continue to move forward, you know, irregardless to all the opposition and everybody that's been coming sideways against what it is we bring on the manifest, and make this message clear to our people, you know, of what it is that we are actually here to do and what it is that we are actually here to bring on the manifest, you know. And I want to go deeper into giving our people some understanding as to what it is that we actually teach, you know, here at this level. You know, it's our duty to teach our people their nationality and their divine creed. You know, so I've been giving a lot of the divine creed to our family, you know, but I want to go somewhat into the national side of the movement, you know, to give our people some clarity. And I see our brother Bond Dog want to give honors to your creative balance of the universe. And let me go to my Facebook, and I'm gonna see, can I get that request, grand man? I may have to move somebody up out of here because I got like my followers is so full. Oh, that's you right there. That's you, Barney Johnson. Okay, I got you. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna try to go to your profile. Yeah, okay, all is well. Most definitely. Cool. Okay, I got you here. it's already showing that we friends. So let's see. Yeah, it's already showing that we friends. So I must have accepted you already. Okay. There we go. All is well. So let me go into the breakdown on this special demonstration that we on. We can give our family some insight. Okay. Yep. Cool. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna go into, status correction and the so-called Negro, Black, and colored classifications. You see? So want to give our family some insight of what it is that we demonstrate and what it is that we don't demonstrate. And when we address what we address here tonight, if you hear me bring up any names in regards to dealing with any Moorish groups, it's only to distinguish, the misunderstandings in regards to dealing with the teaching, not to beat anybody up. We gonna give you the truth. That's what we do here. You know what I mean? And we'll let the people do their own research after that. So one of the foundations that we want to go into is we want to start by laying a foundation tonight dealing with the Book of Fire, so y'all know exactly what we demonstrate. I want to give our family insight too, because most of our people, they so used to seeing a lot of wild information being cast out here, to where they go to thinking like, for some reason, that the Moors or Prophet Noble Drew Ali, represent anarchism and all this other stuff, and nothing can be further from the truth. Moor Science Temple, for example, that was established by Noble Drew Ali, is actually recognized, as a federal, under the federal government guidelines of what religion is, meaning they recognize the Moors as a real religion in America, along with certain other groups that's in America that's recognized. We are not here to demonstrate Moorish Science Temple. We demonstrate the principles of what Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought and what he taught to the Moorish Science Temple. So in the temple, he was laying a foundation for the people. He said exactly what the purpose was, because he said that he founded it for the purpose of teaching the people, how to be better citizens, so to speak. Whereas his divine and national part of the movement, he said he established for the purpose of the uniting of the Asiatic states. And so many of our people got caught up into just dealing with the religious side. And this is why you got people in the MST of A and outside that believe the MST of A is just a religious corporation and that's it. But they were supposed to be teaching the national side of the movement as well. And this is where the balance come into play at. In teaching, both of these branches of the knowledge, it will bring a balanced mindset. The national side would let them know what their decent nature is and where they come from, their divine origin. It ain't got nothing to do with them teaching no type of doctrine of supremacy over nobody. That's not what we teach. We don't teach no black supremacy. We don't teach no Moorish supremacy. We teach our people their nationality. You see, we don't teach our people no hatred toward nobody because of their nationality or what their color is. We don't hate no European. We don't hate the white man. We don't teach that type of doctrine. What we hate is division. What we hate is people being misled by misinformation. What we hate is conflict for no reason. You see? And another thing, we don't have no measure out here that we have to hide or try to demonstrate because we thinking on a subversive level. We don't demonstrate subversive degrees. So you ain't doing nothing wrong by teaching our people the truth. We ain't breaking no laws. We ain't trying to overthrow no laws. None of that. You know, we demonstrating our God-given right to self-determination that everybody got, you know. So we don't even worry about that type of stuff. So you'll never hear us up here talking about shoot nobody down, kill it. You know, that ain't the type of what we demonstrate, because Prophet Noble Drew Ali told the Moors that we must teach the world to love instead of hate. You see what I'm saying? So, in fact, if you have hatred in you, or you full of hate, then basically you come into the realm of that, or become that in which you hate, basically. So we teach people love is the savior of the world. That's what Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught. Not saying that you going into some realm of old religiosity out there in La La Land, but we saying that love is a principle that transcends religious belief. It transcends social clubs. It transcends fraternal degrees, and all that. Love in and of itself is a principle that everybody can vibrate under, no matter what they believe. You see, even if they ain't sure what they believe in, you know what love is. You feel me? So that's what we here to do, teach the people to learn to love instead of hate. So keep that in mind when we go into this special measure. And when you hear me bringing certain measures on the manifest, we don't demonstrate radical agitating speeches and none of that. You know, we don't bump our gums like that. You see? So want to talk about status correction, because many people have a misunderstanding when it comes to status correction. They've been lied to, and this has caused the Moorish movement as a whole to suffer a lot of ridicule and a lot of opposition due to a lot of people misrepresenting what it is that we stand for. You know, they would tell you that status correction, some of them, has to do with, you know, you filling out some paperwork. You know, they'll tell you status correction will be denouncing your citizenship and what it is, challenging the jurisdiction of Rome. No, you know, you just that ain't nothing. That's just bumping your gums. You see what I'm saying? You can proclaim and holler and hoop and say you whatever you want to say, but if you ain't living it, you know, then it don't amount to a hill of beans, so to speak, right? So, you know, a lot of people have been misled and they have been misguided by a lot of fraudulent individuals out here. And if you go through or you follow me, you know me for years, you'll see me on my Facebook page going at them. I call them out by name, you see. And I was doing that long before I came on Sarnetta's channel and Facebook, you know, because a lot of these people out here, I feel personally, were agent provocateurs and planted in the ranks to keep our people from truly obtaining manumission, you know, because we don't teach that stuff they be teaching. All that talking about filing paperwork, pay me $10,000, $20,000, and I'm gonna correct your status. That's a myth, family. All that's a lie. All that naturalizing, talking about they got naturalization ceremonies and, you know, nationalizing, and, you know, no, we don't demonstrate like that. There's a chain of authority and a way about which you go through every process, family. You know, and so sometimes this is why people have hatred toward me, even though they don't know me. When they hear more, they looking at me like I'm a Moorish scammer, like I'm telling them about some paperwork or some stuff that don't work. You understand? And I, like I say, I purposely feel like this has been misrepresented like this for a reason, and that there are those who know of the good works that are being done, you know, behind the scenes, and they are trying to convolute that work by putting agents and agent provocateurs at the head of different groups that's calling themselves Moorish, and they ain't got nothing to do with Noble Drew Ali. In fact, most of them will reject Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You see what I'm saying? And some of them would claim to follow the brother Taj Tariq Bey. Some of them call themselves, what the guy name? Some of them call themselves the Moorish National Republic, you know, on the Cannon base. Some of them call themselves by a whole bunch of things. This ain't to take a shot. We just telling you they're not us. Even though some of them groups have took some of our symbols and signs and tried to incorporate them, even some of the literature we have, They have tried to incorporate it in their movement, but they are not a part of the Moorish American government. Some of them have been a part, but they left and went and did their own thing too. Low key, some of them we knew they was a part of us, and some of them were not a part of us. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, brother Born Dog Taj Tariq Bey, he a cool elder. It's just his methodology that he used. A lot of people have been misled by that methodology, because Taj is trying to do work here within the United States and do the unthinkable and the basically impossible. And to truly be free, we as a nation have to demonstrate as successionists, and demonstrate self-determination. We can't blame the European because we don't want to demonstrate self-determination. And so some people are under that impression. So we're going to correct a lot of that tonight, but we're going to let you know what our plight is. We're going to learn, the classifications that we mentioned that have been applied to us by the European. We didn't accept these classifications, but we're going to point them out. One of them is part of the broader classifications, like we showed y'all before with John Blumenbeck coming up with these titles, Black, Negro, Colored, and all of this stuff come through scientific racism. But when we deal with Negro, Black, and Colored, it's still another aspect of it again, but they use this more in the legal field, and it's sticking to our people today. So yeah, indeed, Agent Trojan Horse, Tahaka Bay, that's right. He definitely won amongst the agents. I don't call the brother Taj Tariq Bey, agent for he just teaching what he feel like he know within the realms of the United States law. But I'm saying that is not sufficient for us to move ahead, because he's still trying to build within the construct of these laws and make them people do something they ain't gonna never do under their laws. You see what I'm saying? It's a waste of time. You see, you can become as knowledgeable as you want to, but until you demonstrate self-determination to build your own, you're going to be the slave of somebody else's government, basically. And that's just the truth. Our people are still considered slaves because of the names that they accept. You see? Not because somebody's standing over them with a whip, but we were free in 1865. That's why if you look close at the bottom corner in that right, where you see that circle 7 in law, it says the Grand Seal of the Moorish American Nation since 1865. So we've been a nation. Our people just didn't know it. We were free. We were free to do what we want to do, but we were still under the chains of mental slavery. I remember reading a book From Niggas to Gods, and the young author said that basically our people was like that of a dog that was released, from chains, but yet being in the field, the gate is open, and they so happy to be free from the chain, they can't even recognize that the gate has been wide open the whole while. This is a dog's in plural, and this is how it is with our people. The gate was open in 1865, the chains, were loosened, so to speak, but our people still want to run around on the plantation. They don't want to leave the plantation. They think they free, and they still within the confines, of enslavement. You see? There you go, brother. That's right. Creator of boundless universe. There you go. You see? That's why I mentioned naturalization and nationalization ceremonies. All that stuff right there, is not proper if you're doing what we doing. Now, they trying to do a work within the realms of the United States. You know what I mean? But it goes beyond that right there. One's got to be willing to get up off of the breast milk, so to speak, and roll their pants leg up and they sleeves and everything else, get knee deep in it, and begin to do the work of uplifting fallen humanity and building a nation. And yeah, it was some misunderstanding between me and the brother Lord Abba. Lord Abba, and there ain't never been no real beef with me, on my end or whatever. The brother attacked that flag. He attacked our Moorish flag when he was a part of the MST of A. And so I called the brother, reached out to him, extend the olive branch to explain to him, brother, do you know why we fly the flag that we fly? Because he was attacking. He made a whole breakdown, like wrote an article in Facebook attacking the flag. And so when I called him, so instead of just attacking the post, and tried to reach out to the brother, got his number, I asked him, did he know the essence of the flag? And that ain't the flag the prophet brought, yeah. Y'all trying to create some other, the brother started going in off the rip. So, me being diplomatic, I tried to be peaceful with the brother, and I asked him, because he started going in on the chairman, talking about the chairman was all types of stuff, the lies that he had heard from Ross Sadiel. Ross Sadiel had pushed a lot of lies in the heads of a lot of brothers, and they accepted that. So him and Tahaka Bay and all of them brought that garbage to me. That's when I first showed up on Nationality channel too. Where I actually whooped up on Lord Abba and Tahaka Bay. They tried to double team me. On Prophet Noble Drew Ali not going to Egypt, and the government being fake, and the chairman was a drug, all type of crazy stuff they was running around Holly. And I debunked it right there. That's my first time coming on Sarnetta show, where he seen me in action. So around that time, they had been running from a debate. I ended up getting in the ring with Tahaka Bay. He had judges that were biased for him. I played that the last time y'all seen that. The judges went against me because they didn't like me. They was Hebrews. And I had whooped up on a couple of them in the bike chat. And at that time, it wasn't no real structure and debate type of stuff. That was when I was messing with the line then. You know what I mean? It was around that time too that also both of them brothers cussed me out and got in my DM talking about what they gonna do. They don't want to debate. They want to fight. And calling me the PUS, and what, I ain't gonna say the rest. All that type of stuff they were saying. And I'm like, look at these dudes right here coming at me, on this bogus stuff. And all the while they trying to put it out here like they represent the Moors. And I told both of them dudes, I was like, y'all rather see me as a white class soldier than to see me in all black. You see what I'm saying? Because trust me, y'all don't want to tempt that part of me. Because I know now one of y'all ain't cut like that. You understand? I'm cut like that for real. I come from that. Even though they understand me to be as peaceful as I am, don't get it twisted. But I ain't let nobody take me back there. And so, it basically, that's where it was with us at that particular point. And recently, Brother Lord Albert came on, and, he kind of tried to show some type of respect or decorum, and he's showing that he trying to work with being better than he was. And so I don't look at what he did and what he said, because I'm that type of dude. The way I used to come up, family, is when I was in my youth, I don't brag and boast, but I'm real mean with my hand, family. You know what I mean? I'm real mean with them. I ain't lost a whole lot of them. You see? And when I say that right there, I mean that. I ain't lost. So in the ones I did lose, it was somebody probably that was way older than I was at the time. You know what I mean? But I would say this right here. Like I said, they don't want to go there. So long story short, everything is cool as far as dealing with, I don't hold no grudge. I can go fist the cup with somebody, even when I was out there in the streets. I can go fist the cuffs with you and stand up, embrace you. You know what I mean? I help you up off the ground. That's my spirit. You know what I mean? And that's why I also felt like that would be my adversary too. You see, I felt like that'd be my adversary, because I'm real, I'm solid, I'm a real dude, but at the same token, I ain't no fool. But that's just how I am. I don't hold no grudges. You see what I'm saying? When some people may hold grudges to the grave, you feel me? But yeah, other than that, right there, like I say, ain't no real smoke between me and Lord Abba. Ain't no conflict if you ask me. That's like gone and down the way. We were supposed to have a conversation. So I had called me to set something up, but it never happened. And I was like, well, what is the purpose or what is it we gonna be going in on? And the same thing. This different though with me and Tahaka Bay. I ain't trying to put no hands on him either. Cause I done already seen somebody put their hands on him. He ran and he called the police and everything. So that's why I already knew he wasn't cut like that. And I had been telling him that the whole time when he was talking that gangster stuff. We seen what brother Tariq Nasheed did to him. It's on camera and he took off. So, that's a whole nother story. But Tahaka, I look at him as a straight agent for real. Like an agent provocateur. You know what I mean? Tahaka is like a real mole. I'm telling you, it ain't no doubt because of the stuff he stir up, not just with the Moors, but he stir up with different groups. It's like somebody son him. You know what I mean? Like when he started attacking me, man, I ain't know that dude. I showed you, we showed you, we put him up there on the rostrum, let him speak, and then the next day he was attacking me. You seen the pictures with us shaking hands? You know what I mean? That's that fake phony stuff, man. And I called him. I done told him this a couple of times. So I ain't saying nothing I ain't told him already. That's why he went to woof and all that other stuff like he tough. Cause one thing y'all learn about me, born dog, is that if I feel some type of way, it don't matter who it is. And it ain't just on the internet. We can be in the presence. Like when I was young, if you did some stuff and you can be thorough as I am, and I was the type of person, if I felt like you were doing some coward stuff, I'd be like, bro, you a coward. I might call you something else, like the female dog or something, and I don't care how gangster you is. You know what I mean? You got to show me, because I felt like, you none of that. Put it this way here. The more gangster you is, the more it make me want to press on you. The more people you got scared of you, the more it make me want to get you. You understand? Because I ain't scared of you. That's how my mentality. So I never was a bully, but I never liked bullies. Matter of fact, I got into a lot of conflict because I was trying to defend other people from bullies. I don't like to see somebody try to take advantage of the weak. So a lot of stuff I got into because I was trying to defend somebody else. Or I got into conflict trying to break up the conflict. I run out there to try to break it up, and next thing you know, I'm throwing down. You know what I mean? I sincerely wanted to break it up, but individual go to getting at me. So all right, now I done turned up. So that's how it used to go with me when I was in my youth. But I done outgrowed all that type of stuff, right? That's why I ain't never been one to talk. I ain't never been a person that can talk a lot of junk and woof. All I know was get down. He's saying something, hit him in the mouth. That was my mentality. You know what I mean? Just get off. You talking, all right, let's go. You know what I mean? And like I say, that's why when they be talking and rah-rahing and he and cussing and carrying on, I ain't never been the one that can do a lot of talking. But I was one that can finish it though. And like I say, but I don't get on that type of stuff, and I ain't trying to push that type of thing to the forefront. So nevertheless, good brothers, what I'm trying to say is it's a lot of individuals out here, they fake and they phony, and they trying to fleece our people. They want to mislead the people. So if you ever see somebody talking about they gonna correct your status, please run from them. Because I'm telling you, they don't know what they talking about. Their status ain't even correct. So how they gonna give you something they ain't got? You see what I'm saying? So status correction is a group effort. Status correction is a collective effort, of a people coming together, demonstrating self-determination. And self-determination is something that we have a right to demonstrate. It's a slave that think along the line of being afraid to think free thoughts. They scared to think free because master gonna take them out. Master gonna kill me if I think of. He gonna lock me up. Man, we done been through so many hellacious conditions. You think I know I don't worry about that type of stuff. Even when it come to Rome, I don't have no fears of Rome. I don't think like that. But certain people that may think like that, or they got something they feel like they got to lose, it's gonna be hard for them to accept the truth. And stand on the truth. You feel me? Because they have fear of consequences of their action. I don't fear no consequences. I done been through too much and seen too much and demonstrated too much, to be in fearful of what anybody can do and harm. And I say it like this: I can't die no harder than my ancestors have before me. You know what I mean? What else is new? But I know you can't do nothing to me unless Allah and the ancestors oblige that to be. You see what I'm saying? And it's an honor to me to even go to that extent, if it even got there when it come to that. If I even had to go, that's an honor to me. Don't be sad, for commissioning that, cause commission, look at that as an honor to be a martyr for the truth. You know what I mean? Yeah, if that's the case. But we ain't worrying about that. We here to teach the people. So when we get into the aspects of understanding these classifications, this Negro, black, and colored demonstration, we're going to get into this. Let me share my screen real quick, and I'm going to show y'all something. We're going to go into the Book of Fire. We got a grand degree right here to bring to you all. Real powerful measure. You going to love this one right here. I give honors to my chairman for putting this out here. He did a good job with this particular drawing. And as you can see, this is called the Negro and the Sardine, a Moorish analogy. And this is the entry level of the Book of Fire. These are the first pages, so y'all can get a good grip on what it is that we demonstrate. So it says the Negro and the Sardine, a Moorish analogy. And you can see how basically the slaves, these would be the slaves on the bottom of the ships. And I always use this analogy when I talk about our unity. You got to remember, a lot of these slaves, some of them from different tribes, they didn't understand the language that each other spoke. They had different cultures. They believed in different things. But one thing they had in common, I'm talking about the ones that were brought on the ships. And we already have the history with that. We done proved, the slave ship routes and everything when we talked about, Senegal and Dakar and all that right there a few weeks ago. But the only thing these people had on their mind when they was took from their land is, where in the world I'm being took, what's going on in most cases, and getting free. The chief thought on the people's mind laying on the bottom of the slave ship was most definitely getting free. How I'm going to get myself out these chains, laying down here in my own feces and y'all defecation and urination. How in the world am I going to get up out of here? And then seeing brothers and sisters die next to me. You know what I mean? Some of them being taken off the count for trying to liberate themselves when they was bucking. So one thing, all these brothers and sisters, no matter what tribe they was a part of, family, what they called themselves, since everybody say, I'm Igbo, I'm Congo, Nigerian, well, they brought people from all them different tribes over here. And they had them together, bunched up on here. And I guarantee you they had a universal thought of getting free. And that's how we need to start looking at things. Put your political view to the side. Put your religious view to the side. Put your social view to the side. Whatever type of view that you have, and think of yourself on the slave ship. You see what I'm saying? Because you really are, whether you know it or not. You physically walking around, but you still mentally enslaved. You got mental shackles on your brain. instead of your hands and foot, where your hand is symbolic to your mind, though, huh? So yeah, you can see this like a peeled back sardine can. And you know how sardines are actually packed in the can. You know, so this is why the chairman named this the Negro and the sardine, a Moorish analogy, right? And listen to what he said. He just giving you truth. He ain't speaking radical. He ain't spewing no hatred. He just giving you the butt naked truth. Listen to what he said. He said the political and social metamorphosis of West African Moors who were made into American Negroes. Notice he say who were made into American Negroes. For those of you who think you American Negroes, American black people, what were you before you was brought over here? When you was on that slave ship on the bottom down there, what was it that you represented? Well, we got a view of that when the movie Roots came out, didn't we? Kunta Kinte was praying to Allah, wasn't he? Before he got pretty much, we can say he was forced to accept the name Toby. You know, later on down the line, after he kept running and they cut his feet off and all this type of stuff, he was praying to Allah. You see what I'm saying? You got to remember that part. What were you before you were enslaved? Now we got people going against what we were before we were enslaved. You see? It says the political and social metamorphosis of West African Moors who were made into American Negroes, blacks, colored people, and today's African Americans, NBC. Slave/chattel property. I want you to keep that in mind. NBC, Negro, black, and color, that's what they are. They're nothing more than slaves and chattel property. I don't care what status they hold over here. I don't care what type of celebrity they are. I don't care how popular they are. I don't care how many figures they make on a Roman job. They are still in the category of the Negro and the sardine. They still on the slave ship. They still have that slave relationship with their master. Because you have a slave master, slave breaker, slave catcher, slave holder. And the greatest slave master, slave breaker, slave catcher, and slave holder is not the ones outside of you controlling you. It's the thoughts that you have within you. It's your own mindset. That's your real slave master, slave breaker, slave maker, slave holder. You can't even blame the European now because you free. You choosing to accept shackles and chains. Ain't nobody forcing you and making you no slave now. So you can't even blame the European. Technically, only thing you can blame them for, is putting you in the mindset. Being the originator of the thought pattern that you have gained as a result of your enslavement. Other than that, you can't blame nobody now that you free thinking, now that you free to move and do as you please. It's your fault if you still have a plantation mentality. See, now that's a hard truth by some people. But we just telling the truth. So anyway, NBC, when we say that, we talking about slave chattel property because that's what Negro, black, and colored people are. They are subject to assumable jurisdiction. It says it's very analogous to how sardines are made. There are many species of small fish indigenous to the great seas of the earth, and the great God did in fact create them all. Yet, there's not one fish in any of the seas named sardine. Like the NBC, these special fish are not labeled sardines until captured, processed, and canned by men. I like that analogy the chairman gave. Sardine is something that was originated later, but this is just like us being Negro, black, and colored people. Before we were caught, we wasn't called that. You see what I'm saying? It was after we was caught, we had those labels placed upon us. Thus, we were made in America, huh? But anyway, it says the trivial research shows the brand name sardine derived from sardina. So now that ain't strange because we know sardina actually represented the Moors. So you can see the connection between sardina and sardine. So we can see this fits perfectly with who the Moors became as NBCs. Same thing. So it says an Italian island in the Mediterranean Sea, Sardinia. The word sardine actually refers to many groups of small fishes, pilchards, sprats, and Atlantic herons. See, that's their real names. That's what you would see too, herring on the sardine can. You see? But it says mostly young herons are the primary fishes which make the array of food fish called sardines. Pending where they are caught, the fish are then denationalized, commercialized, and advertised as South African sardine, Pacific sardine, and of course, European sardine. Young herons, which only grow from 9 to 12 inches, are packed without heads or tails. Naturally being without head and tail, who can trace the past status of the future of the fish? Consequently, without these identifications, sardine, it says, is what they are called now. They are a variety of packaging operandi to the finale which people call sardines. They are often smoked, packed in oil, water, mustard, or hot sauce, etc. Either way, the result is the true identity of the fish is legally concealed from the public under the marketing label sardines. Speaking about the general public, not many people notice there's tuna in cans of tuna, salmon in cans of salmon, and mackerel in cans of mackerel. But what on earth that once in the sea is in the cans of sardines? Just let that thing marinate a bit. Now he gonna break it down from our perspective. He says, so how does the Negro fit into all this? As the great God did not create sardines, nor place them in the sea, like so, the Creator did not create Negroes, Indians, Chicanos, blacks, white folks, Latinos, colored people, or African Americans, nor place them on the earth. The many Moorish nationals in today's Western Hemisphere are a caucus of nations, tribes, and countries of the ancient Moorish Empire of northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa, direct descendants of old man Ham. All members of the human family are indigenous to the earth by divine origin. All he's saying is that all these names that people are being called by now, the Most High didn't call you them names. All these names was adopted later based upon the circumstance and conditions under which you found yourself. These West Africans did not become Negro, black, and colored people until the advent of slavery in the Americas. In other words, before the Atlantic slave trade, there was no Negro, black, and colored people over here. It says in associated slave-breaking islands in the Atlantic. As a paradigm, sardines and Negroes are evil brand names and labels placed upon deities captured in garbs of flesh, which would otherwise be autonomous in their true state and natural status. Tragically, whereas many seaside countries produce and export sardines from their nationalized fishing industries, the so-called NBC people are made only in America. Negroes are never imported. And whether they are exported by way of the United States military or her businesses for her schools, churches, and sports or spurious pleasures and vacations, the Negro mass produced in America will go and return still in the same psychological NBC cans of slavery from whence they departed. The term black people is a misnomer identifying a programmed and processed people. I want you to understand this. Because remember, the term black people come from John Blumenbeck in the first place. It was given under the title of scientific racism. But yet we have those people, just like they fight us about the metal net and language, they also fight us tooth and nail to hold on to a title that was given to them to denationalize them, and they don't even know that they denationalized. If you ask these people, tried to talk to them about being denationalized or what denationalization is, they wouldn't even know what you were talking about. They wouldn't think it even have no point of purpose. But let's look it up. Let's see what denationalize means since we're talking about this. Let's see what denationalization is. Let's see what this means. Denationalize, transfer, a nationalized industry or institution from public to private ownership. Deprive a country or person of nationality or national characteristics. So, question that we have to ask is, if you black, where's your land? If you black, where's your flag? I ain't talking about the roach can neither. If you black, where's your grand national seal, grand national emblem, your constitution that represents you as a black people? Show me a black nation that exists on the land. I don't want you to get in your feelings. I'm asking you a question. Show me. Let's see. Let's see. We're going to see this here. For example, like I say, when we type Russia in, you see what come up? Russia got a history that come up with it, right? Russia got a flag. You see they flag right there behind it? You see the Russian Federation, and they got a history to go with everything about Russia, right? Well, let's try the same thing. I'm just hitting Google right now. Let's hit China. And the people of China would be called Chinese, right? Look at that. It's already coming up. See, China got their own flag. They got their own location. You see? Let's go to Japan. Look at that. Japan got their own flag, and you see land and all these pictures popping up. These are places where people actually live. And when you click into the Japan, watch this. Their flag is right there behind them. You see what I'm saying? But let's, we can do this with many other nations. Y'all get the point now. Let's type in the word American. American is not here, but they come up under what they call in United States. We already know this is a corporation. We already know this is a corporation right here, and it ain't got nothing to do with you up in here. Ain't no black people nowhere up in here being mentioned here. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no Negroes, ain't no colored people being mentioned up in here. Trust me, even though you think you a citizen, you gonna think again after we get done tonight. Let me show you something. So let's see. Black. Let's see. Because we doing it the same way as anything. Since we say we black people, Chinese people say they're Chinese, we shouldn't have to put nothing in but the word black and people come up. Oh, we put black in, and look what it say. All it's giving us is very darkest color owing the absence of complete absorption of light and opposite of white. Now, down here, watch this. They say belonging to or denoting a human group having dark color skin, especially of sub-Saharan African ancestry. Right? They talking about pigment, right? But you can't hit no button down here like I hit in Wikipedia, and you ain't gonna see no nation down here that's called black. It don't exist. And in fact, if we was calling them black people by this color, that ain't the color of my skin, and that ain't the color of most of the people's skin. It's rare that you find somebody that dark right there. If you can find somebody that dark pigmented. So that's a false representation. So we want to know what the black flag is. Let's see. Let's see, black flag, because they got to have a flag. Since they ain't got none up there, we got to try to find a black flag. Oh snap! There you go. That's the only time I agree with my little screen going out. Oh snap! You know, bravo, Rome, bravo. You know, we got rock bands and everything. We got a black flag website. You know, let me see. Can I find it by the images? We're gonna see. Can we find the black flag? Okay, they go a black flag. They talking about Black American heritage. Somebody done got a Black American heritage flag. They done created now. Oh, my bad. That's something they just made up and they selling for Amazon. So somebody done created their own Black American flag, y'all. Show me Black American land, though. We got all types of little flags that were made up by a lot of our leadership to try to make up flags, right? But which one of them is actually being recognized? You know, and before all I came up, this black flag here was older than that one. This is the Roach Can flag right here. You know, the one they sprayed red. Well, that's red. You know, you got black flag. They got their own flag. You know what I mean? So y'all get it, people. You know, y'all get it. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna try to find it because we need some land. Let's see, black people land. And all we see is a bunch of our people out here picking cotton, working in the field. That don't make you the owner or nothing. You understand? So there is no big land up here. That's why you got brothers that was doing like Fred Hampton. Look, the Republic of New Africa. You know, they trying to pursue a nation state. Look what they said, free the land. Because the land don't belong to them. So our people holler these type of things. You know, it belongs to them, but it don't belong to them under that name. It's only one name that they can claim this land under, and they can take it back. But they have been made to be prejudiced toward that name. We're going to get into that in a minute. Y'all got a good idea of what we talking about. But you know, I done made the point. But denationalize. So if they done deprive you of your country, they done deprive you of being your own person, deprive you of your nationality and your national characteristics. How you free? Huh? And they done made you their property, private ownership. See what I'm saying? This is crazy. Denationalize. That's what that means. See? They got you in their grips. So let us go back over here to the Book of Fire. It says the term black people is a misnomer, identifying a program and process people. In the computer world, a person learns the greatest of programs are limited to the capacity of computer's memory. It says mental slavery is when the soul or thinking faculties of man that consist of divine gifts of thinking, reasoning, willing, understanding, and remembrance has been traumatized into an unnatural state to function, right, centripetally against its true God self. You know, meaning your own consciousness has turned against you. Man's mind is not capable of forgiveness, but his future is limited by his recorded history. It is in the nature of the mind to become what it thinks. And since the state officials of their birth have certified the African descendants born in America to be either Negro, black, or colored, they remain complacent in a fiend citizen status of the United States. So a lot of our people have accepted being complacent, thereby being accepting of fiend citizenship status, where they tell you you're a citizen, but you ain't. Really, there's some of the Europeans, most of them ain't even citizens. Because when they hit you with that 14th Amendment, family, that automatically puts you in the realm of basically somebody else's property, whether you know it or not. It says there's very little distinction between the Negro and the sardine. This is because, unlike countless sardines, which are decapitated and canned, it is the head or mind of the Africans that has been bound, processed, and canned. And rarely does the NBC look deep enough into its mind to see the self as the very image of God. As the tail of the sardine is removed, so is the true history of the West African nationals. Now, neither the fish nor the man can be properly identified without head or tail. This mental can process, it says, takes place in the United States judicial industries on the conveyor belt called the Reconstruction Amendments, 13th, 14th, and 15th. It says, through the powers of the 14th Amendment, the head of the African remains physically attached, although his true history and future are severed by the misnomers of NBC, Negro, Black, and Color, that are hidden in the deceptive words, all persons born. Because in the Constitution, you was never wrote to be a part of that. Our people were slaves then. So anybody running around here acting like they got some rights under that, they lying to y'all. When they say all persons born, I'm going to show you what a person is in a minute. Hence, they never realized their personage has been certified to be that of a slave since birth. And that's from the time your name is put on a birth certificate. So let me show you. I'm going to show you, what a person is, according to I'm going to show you what a person is. Cancel that. According to Rome's law. Watch this. This is one of the degrees I put out here on my in my page as well. Okay, so let's go into it. You got to know this stuff, family. I'm going step by step. I'm taking my time with this so y'all will understand why you hear Moors talking about status and nationality, but some people use this terminology and manipulate it and then try to sell you freedom while they slaves at the same time. So they really don't care about you being free. They want to manipulate you, and they do that at the expense of the character of the Moors in the movement being blamed for their scamming. So it's my duty to teach you, what the nationality and the divine creed is. That's what my job is. That's what I'm doing right now. Now, what one do after I give it to them, whatever they choose to believe after that, that's on them. I'm just telling you what we teach. I can't tell you why them other people doing what they're doing and all that other nonsense. Since I'm here, I'm going to pull this up because this is actually a portion of your boy John Blumenbeck measure. You know what I mean? And if you see here, and this was February 22nd, 2022 when I posted this. I say it's a shame our people fight to hold on to a condition, proclaiming it as their nationality. They fight tooth and nail to remain someone's property, right? And so it goes here, it says races of mankind. See, this is all from scientific racism right here. The commonest division of mankind is according to the color of the skin. Thus, three great types are distinguished: the black race, yellow or Mongolian, often called Turanian, red, and the white or European race. But this division, like many others, cannot be strictly applied, and it is easy to find people, for example, whose skin is not yellow, although they are accounted Mongolians. The study of human races is called ethnology. The most difficult problem of ethnology is just this of distinguishing the different races of man and determining their points of difference. Broadly speaking, the three above mentioned types have existed since the early historic times. and each has retained its peculiarities unchanged to the present day. The black race. Most of the members of this race, called Negroes, have Africa, it says, for their original home. Being an inferior race, they have largely been used as slaves by the stronger and clever members of the higher races. So in other words, you wasn't strong as them and you wasn't clever as them. You was weak based upon that, and that's how you became a slave, is what they saying. Ancient Egyptian monuments show captive black slaves. I don't know what ancient Egyptian monuments they talking about showing no captive black slaves. It says in the United States, 9 million Negroes are now living as free citizens. How? See, this is that fiend citizenship that the chairman was just talking about. All of them former slaves are descendants of slaves once imported like cattle from Africa. Cattle, as in chattel, property. All right, it's going to get deeper. This ain't the only one I'm looking for. You know, this is not the only one I'm looking for. I'm actually looking for something else. And that I seen that. And there's something up there I'm going to go back to too. But I want to find this specific measure here that I'm looking for. Since we here and we mentioned the 13th Amendment, we might as well show you this. Look at what it say, 13th Amendment in the Constitution, Section 1. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the parties shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Section 2, Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation, adopted December 1865, right after they freed the slaves, basically. Soon as they freed the slaves, they came up with a law saying this was the basis of the slave breaking measure, that slavery or servitude can't be enforced on you unless it's a punishment. So when they send you to prison or they lock you up, you are automatically a slave again. Even outside of that, we still slaves according to the law, the way it's established, you know, but you really a slave. If they lock you up, they literally got books in the European legal system that say Florida slave code right now, and they still valid. So they didn't get rid of slavery. They just said as long as you don't commit a crime. Well, guess what? They made it a crime to be black. They call them vagrants. It was a crime to not have a job one time. You ever know that? That if you didn't have no job, even though they wouldn't give you none, it was a crime. So that was a loophole to lock you up. They called you a vagabond. And they called this vagrant laws. All this was implemented after they supposed to free the people. So this is how free people ended up being enslaved again. You understand? So now you see the trick that's been, and this ain't been overturned. This stands today. Anytime they lock some of your people up, they become a slave. This is not fair. This is what's going on right now, people. So how would you stop this? You know you ain't going to overthrow it. You know you can't go against and petition it away. It's still in the law. They still got it legal. And they're trying to take you back into picking cotton again if they get a chance. What did they do, the Romans, when they was being oppressed by the British Crown? They got away from that situation, didn't they? And they went to building on their own, didn't they? And this is what many of our people fear. They don't have the courage to break away on their own and build because they so dependent upon massa. They so dependent upon, you know, the Liberty latest breast milk, you know, to basically, they don't want to do nothing for themselves, self-determination. So you can't even blame Rome for that because it's the people that's choosing to continue to be slaves. They want to be slaves. They ain't saying it, but actions speak louder than words. And every time somebody come up from amongst us, our own people is the one that's opposing the people that's trying to free them. Now, is that by design or what? And I done come to the conclusion that anytime we speaking on something that had to do with our liberation, good brother, and you got people that look like us saying that we crazy, ain't nothing wrong, they ain't enslaved, most of the time they benefiting from our enslavement. They're not suffering, at least in their eyes, the same thing that we suffer. You see what I'm saying? I want y'all to take a good look at this Moorish brother right here too. Brother Sheikh Frederick Turner L. This brother here is the reason why Morocco got their independence. He helped them. He was demonstrating on that international law level. It's the only Moor that was doing it. Him and the Prince of Peace, R. German Bey, was very close friend. R. German Bey is my chairman's adept instructor. You know what I mean? Brother German Bey and this brother was real close, and they was working together. You know, this is who Brother Braden Bey also tried to claim that he, you know, come up under. You know what I mean? I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of clippings in here talking about, you know, the brother Frederick Turner L. And he was honored internationally too for the works that he was doing. So I don't want to go too far off. I'm trying to show you some specific things. One picture I'm looking for right now is we talking about property. We want to show you what that property looked like. It's coming up in a second here. Just give me a second. Again, since we here,